Hello and welcome to another modern video, folks. The weapon of choice for the day today is going to be a deck that I haven't played in a minute, but that I still want to see where it's standing right now in the current modern format, and that is Grixis Sugu. This is a control deck, of course, as the name suggests, Grixis. So it's built around the card Sugu consumes all. This card still remains pretty good. Like the fact that it can come into play and destroy all of the Rhinos tokens, it's still absolutely outstanding versus something like Hammer. It can still come down and blow up a bunch of random things that end up being relevant, like Abundant Growths and Amulet of Vigors and stuff like that. But its place in the metagame, it's a little bit less overwhelmingly good as it was when Hammer was far and away the best deck. I feel like this card is still pretty good. Here you have it a little bit larger, but I don't think that playing sweepers is really where it's at anymore. I feel like the way that the decks are working right now, the fact that this exiles graveyards obviously matters versus living end, but it's a little bit tricky to time it in such a way where you can resolve it in a spot where you can get full value from it. So it does a lot of things, but some of them are a little bit awkward. So we will see how it works out. I'm still interested in the card, and I think that the shell is quite strong, like it was every time that I played the deck. So we're going to be trying it through a Modern League. What I do know is that Expressive Iteration is a messed up card, and even though it may be a little bit more awkward here than with other decks, I still feel like you want to be playing 4 copies of this card. Mostly because it's a great way to hit land drops, and this deck really cares about that. And I know that I'm playing like a bunch of like 3 and 4 drops alongside iterations, not necessarily great, but I still think that this card is busted enough for me to want to play the full 4 copies. Then we just have like a bunch of removal, push, terminate, bolt, monkeys, which may be like a little bit of a number with Sugu, but it actually ends up playing rather smoothly, because if you resolve Sugu, then killing your own monkey doesn't matter too much because it puts you pretty far ahead anyways. And also dashing monkey with Sugu works out pretty well. So the sideboard is something that I haven't really touched too much lately, but it still feels reasonable. Like all the cards in this sideboard look very reasonable to me. I could definitely see tinkering and moving the numbers here and there, maybe less disputes and more fluster storms, because I don't need to be countering as many Omnath as I need to be countering some sort of a cascade spell instead. But yeah, I think the deck is pretty good. We're going to be running through a Modern League today, and if you're enjoying the content, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button, and leave a comment down below telling me what you think about the deck, whether you would change anything, whether some cards you think are not worth playing, or other cards that you think I'm missing. So looking forward to hearing your thoughts. See you for round number 1. Time for round number 1. This hand has good mana, decent spells. I'm going to keep it. It's a little bit sketchy, but I think Prismari Command actually does work a lot to fix this hand straight up, so I really like that. Also, it has the best combo this deck has, which is turn 1 fetch land, so we can go find what's his name? So we can go find the Triumph. And here we have turn 1 Giver, which is really good for me because far and away this deck's best matchup is Hammer Time. So things looking pretty good here. Things looking pretty good. So what's the best way? What's the best way to go about this? Let's see. I guess that's the best way to go about this. So what I can do is I can dress down on my end step, because here Giver can just save the Stoneforge Mystic. So, I think I'm just gonna pass the turn. Kaldra Complete may be a problem, but the plan is gonna be to like I can't kill the Stoneforge, right? Like I was on the draw this game, so there's not really too much that I can do. The thing here is I can deny the haste if I dress down now. I think I'm going to take 5 and I'm going to dress down on my end step and see where this can go. This allows me to Fury kill both of these. And then I can deal with the Kaldra token through... It's not a great draw. I can deal with the Kaldra token through that. Excellent. So let's play Castle Ventress. Here's Fury. Oh, I'm an idiot. Whoopsies. I think I'm gonna do this now though. Oddly enough, this also just works. Just playing a 3/3 double strike lines up really well in this board, which is funny. And if we can find, if we can find Sugu, we probably very easily win. Because this Kaldra can really help me raise. So my best draw is Hidetsugu Consume Soul, Stoneforge, number 2. I wonder if they have Sword of Fire and Ice, Shadow Spear. That doesn't matter at all. Alright, so if we find Sugu, we just win. That's a blank. So I think I can't really attack. I guess what I can do is I can just attack with the Trampler. Oh baby, if we get to 7 mana and I can suit up the Fury with the Kaldra, that's gonna be nice. My opponent may just take 5 here. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, because otherwise they're just playing into removal, which is not particularly great for them. That's an Inkmoth Nexus, and this is a counterspell. They may have Spell Pierce though, which would be a problem, but good sequencing by my opponent, by the way. You know, just playing the land. Actually, poor sequencing. They should have activated Inkmoth before doing anything else. So that was actually not great sequencing from them. So they can't really attack there, but now I can't attack. Never mind, I can attack. I think I'm playing Deltan Sengo. So here I can attack, and my opponent is gonna block here and give protection, and it's not a great combination. So, all right, they're gonna move the Shadow Spear over to Inkmoth. So that's not very good. Yeah. All right, I'll take this. This allows me to Castle Ventress this turn, which is perfectly fine. The question is, I think I'm going to find the basic swamp here. I just want another black source just in case. My opponent's not playing around the Sugu. They're definitely not playing around the Sugu. There are some pretty serious Sugu in my opponent's future. So let's activate Castle, see what we find. Nice little double bottom there. Love to see it. You love to see it. Okay, I'll take iteration. Said everybody ever. Counterspell to hand. Huh. Well, kind of punished for this, but it's fine. Let's go blue and red. Let's see iteration again. And this is the turn. The exact same split? What are the chances of that happening? What are the chances that I expressive iteration back to back and I find exactly the exact same cards? I mean, sure, all of those are 4-offs, but that has to be extremely unlikely to happen, right? That has to be extremely unlikely. Also, maybe I should have just cast the monkey, even though I'm taking 2. Alright, so that's fine for us. We still have time here. We're going to cast another iteration next turn. And of course, if at any point in time we find... Sugu, the game ends immediately. It's interesting that my opponent is going the Shadow Spear route as opposed to going the Gingerbrute route. Like, it's a lot easier for me to make this not care than to make this not care. But, yeah, whatever. I'll take it. So, blue and red. Iteration. Jesus. That is so much nothing. Bottom, exile, play that. Super punished by how I sequence things here by tapping the Castle Ventress. Actually, maybe I think I should have attacked there. I think actually I should have attacked. I should have attacked because it forces my opponent to tap one of the givers. Or they just, you know, take 5. Sure. So, opponent's got 1 card in hand. If I suit up Fury, that's going to be 8. That's going to be 16. So I think we take it there. We have 1 more turn to find anything. Whew. Okay. But now we can actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh no, I only control this. Oh wow, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's actually wild that I can't. I just realized that. Like, I honestly just kind of forgot that I can't move the color. I only control the germ. Honestly, it's kind of unreal how poorly we've been drawing. Very, very weird. Particularly because of how much we've been like doing stuff, right? Like we've been scrying, we dug really deep. We resolved 3 expressive iterations and we still found a bunch of nothing. It's gonna happen every now and then, I guess. That's getting countered. And I wonder if they're gonna suit up here. If they suit up, which they do, I'm gonna wait till they attack. I'm gonna activate Castle during combat. And I'm gonna see what my options are. And I think that I'm gonna upkeep Castle as well. No, actually I can't upkeep Castle. Archmage's Charm. Okay, I think that's good. That's good enough to keep. Archmage's Charm allows me to steal the Shadow Spear, which is 1 more turn. And I think the moment to steal the Shadow Spear is after my opponent has spent the mana to equip the Inkmoth Nexus. Because then what happens here, I think, if I'm not mistaken, the way that this should work is we control the Shadow Spear, and this can only equip... Yeah, this only targets creatures, so it doesn't do anything. We're stealing the Shadow Spear, we're not stealing the creature. And because I control this, then it cannot equip a creature that I don't control. So here, I think it's just my opponent made a mistake. They got a little bit hasty. Oh, they gave it pro black. Yeah, that kills me. Alright. That was an extremely weird game. Extremely weird game. C'est la vie. C'est la vie. It's how it goes sometimes. So we want these, obviously. I think Monkey is surprisingly decent. Dreadbore's okay. The story of that match definitely ended up being the story of that match ended up being the givers, right? And the lack that I dug more than half my deck and I never found that Tsugu. But this looks fine to me. Blacksmith Skill is a card that I'm gonna need to be very, very wary of. Okay, this hand looks fine. We have Fury. We have tools. We have good tools here. Turn 1 Scalding Tarn to go fetch my Triumph and then can take it from there. Fury is an all-star in this matchup. I'm gonna try to make better use of it than I did last game. Maybe I should have been attacking more. I think that was my mistake. I think I should have been attacking more because my life total basically was irrelevant. So I think I should have been attacking more aggressively in order to force my opponent to tap their givers. And then that puts them in a much more awkward spot. And it can potentially allow me to find an opening to resolve one of my removal spells. That's a fine draw for sure. Definitely a fine draw. That's good. Yeah, that's also fine. We're just gonna be killing this Keeper of Runes right now, while I have access to the mana. We also get to go find Watergrave, which is nice. And tap Inspirable of Canal. I think I'm gonna let this go, and I'm just going to probably draw 2 on my opponent's end step. Unless they, you know, go all in on a Thopter, and then I just blow them out, of course. Attempt to draw 2. It just snap resolves. That's good for me. I think we just chill here. I think we just pass the turn. If they tap out, I terminate the Thopter. I think I'm gonna destroy Artifact. Plus, I mean, it depends on what happens here. Paladin, just play a naked Paladin. Very interesting. So now I just get to untap and just hardcast the Fury. And I can't really get blown out. So we get a nice, nice clean 3-for-1. Nice clean 3-for-1. Can we move on to the next game now? Because we are done. Hushbringer. I've seen so many people sideboarding in Hushbringers in matchups where I'm just like, why? Why is this card in your deck right now? Very confusing, to say the least. So opponent takes 6. Gonna play Scalding Tarn, and there's an argument for just like dreadboring this, but I think I'm just gonna chill on it because I can just wait until my opponent does something and then terminate, and then Prismari Command after they do something. Yeah, so I'm gonna wait. Why didn't that trigger? Isn't that supposed to trigger? Oh, Hushbringer. That's hilarious. I would have never thought of that. I would have never in a million years thought of that. That's how that interacted. So destroy artifact and 2 damage. So 2 damage to any target. No. 2 damage to any target. Destroy artifact. 2 damage here. Destroy artifact. That's so funny. That is so funny. So here's the hammer. Opponent's gonna choose targets, probably target there, and then I can just terminate. I can just terminate the Hushbringer. That is so hilarious. That is so funny. Got the W there. I'm not super high on the Jaces here, but once you're on an empty board, I think Jace does a pretty significant amount of work. There's an argument for Chalice. I think I kind of like Chalice now that I think about it. And the reason is not so much because of hammers and stuff, but it's more so because of Spell Pierce and because of Blacksmith skill. So Chalice on 1 matters to me most because of those cards. And on the draw, I don't think I'm too into... I think I'll lead like 1 Magus. But yeah, I think that those cards make me a lot more interested in Chalice of the Void. Even Spell Pierce. Maybe I said Spell Pierce, but they could have Spell Pierce, they could have Skill, and those are the 2 cards that I'm the most scared of. Late Game Giver, Chalice also takes care of. So, sure, I'm blanking 6 of my 1-mana removal spells, but seems very much worth it. The cards I'm not super high on are the 4 counter spells. Maybe they should be Thoughtseizes, honestly. Particularly on the draw. I'm gonna keep this hand. We got a Fury and a card to pitch to it. We have a Dress Down, we have Counter Spell. This hand does a lot. This hand does a lot. Also, we have the best combo in the deck, which is Fetch Land on turn 1. Plus being alive. Turn 1 fetch plus not having lost is a great combo. Okay, so that complicates things a little bit, because now I'm going to have to Dress Down as a way to get around this thing. So we're going to have to take it very slow. Iteration. I really hope that they... Actually, no, never mind. I don't want to be playing anything. I guess I will have to just cycle iteration on end step. To cycle dress down, sorry. Paladin. Yeah, that's fine. Alright, so now I can Fury. That's pretty nice, actually. So now I can just Fury kill both of these and say go. And I think I'm pitching Terminate. We get a nice little clean 2 for 2, except that we used 0 mana on it. So it's not bad at all. They got no value from their Sentinel, they got no value from their Paladin. I could resolve Magus there, but I don't think I want to just yet. I think we have time. I don't think this Sanctifier is clocking me quickly. Hushbringer. Does that matter? Does that matter? Or would I rather draw 2? I think I'd rather draw 2. I'll just draw here. Try to find some lands. Not the best. Not the best, unfortunately. So that's iteration. Trying to look for Charm. Bottom Exile, I think. It's a little bit awkward, but it allows me to hold up Counterspell. It also allows me to hold up Dress Down on end step. So much blue mana. We'd love to find the Lightning Bolt. But it's kind of funny how we're both taking it super slow, which I think it's correct. So what we can do actually is I can play Magus and then Dress Down to block, which I think it's good. And then I can trade my Magus from my opponent's Sanctifier. Also means that I don't have to, they don't have blue mana, and I don't have to Sentinel. Yeah, so they're gonna get to draw a card now, which is less good for me, but still fine. But we do get rid of the Sanctifier finally. I guess they could have Blacksmith skill, so that would be an issue. I think I have to do it anyway. And I love how the layers thing still works. It's pretty silly how layers work. Layers are stupid. Nettle Cyst. Okay. Nettle Cyst. Black, red, 1. Sugu. Am I paying or not? I think I'm not paying. So they can suit it up here, but I think that's fine. I'd rather not take the damage. So we're going to be taking 2, I guess, this turn. But we're holding up Counterspell. Giver is fine. We have another Sugu. Don't care. Nettle Cyst, also fine. So we're going to take 2 here. Seems okay. Fury is solid. Exile all graveyards. How do we set up this Fury? I think we're just going to Expressive Iteration. Yeah, that does it. So push to hand, land to the bottom, push to exile, push that. Perfect. And now I guess there's no need for me to steal these yet. So I can just hold up Counterspell instead. I can also just Sugu if they play another 1-drop. Cigar the City is fine. Stoneforge. Yeah, that's fine. Because I'm just gonna Fury that. I have push plus Fury. Colossus Hammer. Okay. Interesting. Alright, so I guess I'm gonna draw 2. That's nice. Now we flip Sugu. We play land. Black, blue, red. Another Sugu. I have to push right now because Kaldra actually kills me. So this is a little bit awkward, but I think this is correct. Because otherwise my opponent can just Stoneforge the Kaldra into play. So that fizzles. Sugu blows up Giver and Cigar the Sade. We know that one of their cards in hand is a blank. We have double Counterspell. We have Fury. And now we have a very real clock. Path to Exile? Well, that's awesome. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that, opponent. Stoneforge. It's definitely counter-worthy at this point in the game. Most definitely counter-worthy. So here we have some Sugu action. I think I'm gonna play Delta here. And I could just straight up play the Fury with no targets and just call it a day. But I think Sugu is gonna be a good enough clock for me. So I'd rather save this Fury for, like, if my opponent plays a Paladin, I can just let it resolve and not care about it. Because I'm probably going to be saving this counter spell for Kaldra. Also, I probably should have gotten Steam Vents. I autopiloted there a little bit. Should have paid more attention. Should have definitely paid more attention. So we have double Dreadbore, Fury. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now we can actually let Stonefort resolve because we can just untap and Dreadbore it. That doesn't do anything at all. Also, now's the time to like draw Jace the Mind Sculptor and whatnot. Still very confused about my opponent having Path to Exile versus me. Like, what did I show them? That, like, to path a Fury? To path their own Kaldra token? Yeah, Hammer resolves. You got me. Okay, now that I have a second Fury, I'm just gonna jam one. So we attack there. Dude grows, and I'm just gonna speed up the clock in a fairly significant way. Pass the turn. So this is now a 2-turn clock. Just turn in the corner pretty quickly. Yes, you got an Esper Sentinel. We're just gonna play Dreadbore. I think I even just let them draw the card. Yeah, I mean even more so now. So we're not gonna care about them drawing here, but if I find like a push or something, I just push this instead. Terminate, I guess it's also the same thing. So kill that, and we're holding up double counter spell. Opponent's dead next turn. Yeah, this matchup is extremely good for us. Obviously, I think I literally have beaten it every single time I played against it. Ginger Brute. That's very cute. I mean, my opponent was playing it well there. I mean, obviously they cybered it poorly, but you know, they were trying to like set up a big turn where they actually turned the corner in a single swoop. So they were like their idea was fine. It just doesn't matter. Like this card is just so devastating versus them. Like it destroys everything that that we care about them having, and then it just turns into a very quick clock. It's so good. All right, see you next round. All right, this hand looks pretty good. This hand looks pretty good. So we can go turn 1. We're on the play, and we have a monkey and a way to clear the way. Then we have Fury and Sugu. So not half bad. This hand has many pieces. Many pieces in place. Wooded Foothills. Try untapped. Say go. So we're going to lead with an attack before we do anything else. Windswept Heath was exiled. I kind of suspect that what we may be up against is the Domain deck. I don't know if that's the case, but that's sort of what smells like to me. Particularly with my opponent just like main phase tapping, right? Oh, it could be Calibrated Blast. It could be Calibrated Blast as well. Those are the two things that I would imagine. That's the third Wooded Foothills. Man, all of... Oh, it was a Windswept Heath. Never mind. Okay, so it is indeed the Show-Up Roller. That's a lot better for me than a Massive Draco. So I'll take it. Now the question is... Do I... Because I'm going to push. The question is, do I push now? Or do I get a tap line? I think I'm just going to push here. And I'm going to push off of a Water Grave. Because my opponent's not... do I care about protecting my life total? I kind of do. Yeah, I think I do. And like... I think this is fine. The reason being because my opponent has Tribal Flames in their deck. Dress Down is interesting. Let's get in there. Basic Forest exiled. Simvens tapped and say go. Tribal Flames your monkey. That's funny. Alright. I'm gonna dress down now. Because if I find the monkey, I want to be able to dash it probably. Counterspell's nice. Okay, that's cool. So the best draw here would be, I guess, Jace the Mind Sculptor. Dreadbore. Okay. Let's pass the turn. I don't think I want a Sugu, and the reason for that is that if my opponent plays a Draco or something like that, I can simply hardcast a Fury, as opposed to like wasting a counterspell on it. And if they do something that's worth counterspelling, well, I can just counterspell it. But that would have been a great turn. Next turn would be even better, like a great turn to find something like Expressive Iteration. That's a Draco. That's gonna just die to my hardcast Fury. Would love to see an untap land now. Untap land. Another Fury. Okay. So this is gonna be a nice little clean 2-for-1. Maybe my opponent's playing, what's his name? The Gaia's Might or something. That would be kind of sick, actually. No Gaia's Might. Unfortunate. Unlucky for my opponent that they were not able to find Gaia's Might. Leyline Binding. Okay. Don't think I care too much about that. Teferi Time Raveler. So I guess that dies to Dreadbore, so it's not a big... Well, it's not a good play. It's not a good play when I can just, you know, fizzle their their activation. Whoopsies. So I think this is their turn. Like, if I find a land, an untap land, I'm just gonna slam the Fury, but... Oh, look at that. So now I guess I can just dash Monkey. Yeah. Let's dash Monkey. My opponent could have Bolt, but if they have Bolt and they kill the Monkey, then they basically have no cards. So I'm fine with that. And I obviously want to kill Teferi there. There's an argument for going face and then Dreadboring the Teferi, but I can save the Dreadbore for another potential threat. Just counterspell that. They may have Stubborn Denial, but I think that's fine. Push. Okay. Dash Monkey. Can we find the Teferi? That'd be sick. Leyline Binding. So I guess I can Leyline Binding their Leyline Binding. Layers upon layers. I'm not gonna do that though. Rather hold that Fatal Push in case my opponent has another Monkey. And I think we're just on the Dash Monkey plan, because the Dash Monkey plan actually allows me to Sugu. It's kind of nice to force my opponent to interact with my 1-drop, and to do that at instant speed specifically. Like, I'm literally just racing them with this like stupid Monkey. It's great. Swing. Take it again. Alright, what do we get? Nah, I think I'd rather just have the Monkey in hand and have more options. Opponent's flooding a little bit over there, but I think we're getting to the point where my opponent may be forced to just like Leyline Binding my stupid Monkey. Pew! Pew pew! Land? Ugh, so unlucky. And again, I could be like playing out the Sugu, I could be playing out the Fury, but I feel like I'm pretty advantaged here. I have infinite mana. I'm using a little bit of my mana every single turn, but I mean, as long as my opponent can't interact with it, it's just fine. That's a lot of removal that we have over here. It's a heck of a lot of removal. Can we flip Tribal Flames off the top for just like the flavorful win? Get in there, Monkey. Get in there. What are you gonna do about it, opponent? What are you gonna do about it? It's also pretty nice that we're not even showing them the Sugu. Oh, Monkey. Oh, Monkey. Oh, Monkey. That's really funny that they had this Stubborn Denial. It's possible that they had the Stubborn Denial the entire game, but the only time that it was enabled, I guess the only 2 times that it was enabled, I killed their threat with something that they couldn't interact with. That's very funny. Okay, so Dreadbore's probably fine. Smart Command sounds pretty bad. Oh, actually it kills the Draco, so it's not as bad, never mind. But it just kills the Draco? Yeah, maybe I'm not too into it. Especially when like most of my other, like 2 Dreadbores, 2 Terminates, and 3 Furies kill the Draco. But I'm gonna be on the draw, so I guess I do want the extra answer to the Draco. That's fine. We can shave maybe 1 monkey in the draw. Do I want Sugu? I know they have 4 Nakatl and they have 4 monkeys of their own. I think this is fine. Thoughtseize and Magus are both interesting. I don't think Magus matters too much when they're playing Tribal Flames, when they're playing the other thing, the Lightning Bolts. So I think I'd rather just have access to my, you know, reliable mana as opposed to Magus. Like, Magus is not great in this deck, right? Magus is not particularly great in this deck. I just played because the card is just messed up, but not because this is a good Magus deck. This hand has no removal at all. It just has counter spells every turn. I think I'm going to ship it. If my opponent goes turn 1 monkey, I just lose. I'm going to keep this one bottoming Prismatic Command. I think I'm going to bottom Sugu. Prismatic Command interacts with monkey at instant speed. So I think it's potentially a better card than the other thing, because it beats Dashed Monkey. Turn 1 Meyer go. This is going to find my Triumph, get my mana online. And then we're going to have Counterspell up from turn 2, which is nice. They can deploy a Draco here, or the Nishoba. Wild Nakatl. Sugu, come back. I miss you, Sugu. Okay, so get my Triumph. Let's see what we find. Lightning Bolt, Terminate. Sure. So they're holding up Stubborn now, because otherwise they could have just done this. They could have just played Nakatl the previous turn. So they're holding on. They're holding on to Stubby D. I wonder if they're playing Dispute. That's actually pretty interesting. Basic Forest, huh? Nishoba. I think I'm just gonna use my counterspell here, just so I can use my mana, I think. So my opponent uses this Stubby D, and then I can then terminate the Brawler. It's honestly kind of sweet that this card is seen playing Modern. And I do think that this Zoo deck is actually legit. I do think it's a fine deck. I do think it's a fine deck. So it's really cool to see it. So we take 3 there. Untap, see what we draw, a blank. It's gonna main phase the Terminate and pass the turn. The reason to main phase there obviously is to play around another Stamina now. Here we're gonna take 3 more. Hopefully my opponent plays a dragon. Yeah, because I can Prismari command that one. If they have another Stammer Denial, we're in trouble, but yeah. I guess I'm gonna do this right now. So destroy artifact, draw 2, destroy artifact. And we can find Fatal Push here. If they have another Stammer now, we're gonna be in a lot of trouble, but it is what it is. There was another argument there for, okay, so being both of these. And I guess next turn I'm just gonna cast Fury. No stub there is a big deal. We do lose 2 double Tribal Flames, or Tribal Flames plus Bolt. Would have really liked to find... Would have really liked to have found something else there, like... Okay, so here's Fury. Kill that. So now we're gonna have double Archmage's Charm, which is not the worst. 3 mana. What is this, Sapsan Charm or something like that? That would be hilarious. Definitely would have not seen that coming. Kaya's Guile. Sure. Kind of surprised that that card is in their deck. Doesn't make too much sense. So let's draw 2. And I know that this can backfire, like if I don't find a land, but I think I just accept death to Tribal Flames. I guess I don't have to accept it to Tribal Flames just yet. Those are not the worst possible draws. I'm gonna have to kill the Spirit Token, however. I'm gonna have to bolt it. We do get to play around Stubby D very nicely though. Fetch land. Yeah, I think that my opponent is just gonna go for double Tribal Flames here. I'm gonna make them show me both of them. One doesn't do it. There's one. There's two. Oh, just bolt. That's fine, that's fine. Okay, so game 3. I'm legit considering Flusterstorm and Spell Pierce. I mean, I'm definitely bringing in the monkey on the play. I think we're doing this. And I like Spell Pierce better than Fluster because it stops the other guy. I think we're gonna go with this. On the play with a perfectly fine hand. This looks good. We have the best combo. Fetch land plus Triumph. OP. So OP. Would love to see one more land, I think. Monkey would also be interesting. Okay. I wonder if they cut all their leyline bindings. Wouldn't be surprised. Opponent fetches on end step, and they get just a Sanders Lounge mirror. It's a Sanders Lounge metagame. Okay, so I think we have answers to anything my opponent could play, so I'm just going to use this turn to iteration looking for my land drop. Unless I naturally find it here. If I naturally find it here, then I'm just gonna pass. Okay. And now I can draw 2 on their end step. If I don't counter anything. Because this is always the place where you want to be, right? Like you want to be iteration in this deck is very much a turn 4 play, so you can hit your land drop. Yeah, sure, let's counter this. Makes their stamina a lot worse. So yes, and think I charm. Runs into stability, but that's fine. I want my opponent to use their stamina now in a turn where it doesn't matter, like this one. They didn't have it though, that's good. Iteration. I could have dashed monkey there, but hitting land drop is the most important thing. Brutal. Okay. So we already have a Fury, so I'm just gonna go Bolt to hand, Fury bottom, exile monkey, and we're gonna cast the monkey. Not finding land drop is extremely bad for us. Extremely, extremely bad. Sure. So monkey effectively gained us 3 life, which is good. What I would really like is to find some land drops. The fairy. They plussed? Excellent. So now I just Dreadbore. Black, red. There's an argument for dashing monkey and going face and then Dreadboring after that, but if my opponent has any form of interaction, I get destroyed, including sorceries, because they plus the fairy. So I'd rather just make sure that the fairy dies. Man, I really hate that I'm missing all these land drops. Really, really hate it. That's a problem. Red source. Guess I should have been more specific, huh? Okay, so gonna attempt to Dreadbore there. If they have stability, nightmare case scenario. They don't. I think I'm gonna pass. We're gonna take 5 down to 11, but opponent's down to 2 cards at this point, and I think that I can exchange. I can trade this brawler for 5 damage and a bolt, and that means that I get to hardcast Fury potentially in a cattle. Okay, that's kind of interesting. Now we find the land. Is it too late? Is the question. Is it too late? I know they have a leyline, because they just have to have a leyline. Otherwise, nothing makes sense. So I'm just gonna go bolt here, and I think I'm just gonna play monkey. Just cast monkey. And then I guess on my opponent's upkeep, if I want to, I can steal their cattle. I think I'm not going to. I think I'm just gonna draw 2. I'm gonna take 3 here. We go to 8, which is very scary for sure. Going to 8 versus the Tribal Flames deck is very scary. Okay, so I'm just gonna counterspell here. Kaya's Guile. Okay. So now we just hardcast Fury here, which is very nice. I'm not I'm not digging the Kaya's Guile. I wonder if they just sided out all their ley lines and that's why they have access to Kaya's Guile. This card doesn't seem very good versus us. But now we have like this super clean Fury. The 3-1. The Fury of Legends. The Fury of Legends. We'll lose to like double Tribal Flames or Tribal Flames plus Bolt. If those are their exact 2 cards left in hand, but we beat everything else, which is very nice. That's a fantastic draw. So we're just gonna Jace and Brainstorm. Maybe I should have Jaced plus there? Huh. It's interesting actually, because like I know the cards that matter from my opponent, right? Yeah, maybe I should have just Jaced plus there. The good thing here is if they kill Jace, they don't kill Fury. So I'm not gonna attack because next turn we're just gonna have it rolled up, I think. So now if my opponent wants to actually clock me with the show up roller, they need to leyline my Fury. And if they leyline Fury, then they don't leyline Jace. Tribal Flames. Okay. That's the Tribal Flames is not going face. So that's good. Let's see if you're playing Veil of Summer in your deck, opponent. Let's see if you're playing Veil of Summer. You're not. Draco. Well, draw 3. Okay, so that's probably game, I imagine. Just cast Fury, cleanly deal with Draco, shuffle top cards away, and tap with perfect mana, with a perfect hand. There's another charm on top, so I kind of don't want to shuffle. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna tap, draw my Archmage's Charm, and I think that I just Brainstorm. I shuffled and Brainstorm. I guess never mind. I think both cards are good. Like, just drawing a land is fine in this spot. So I guess we're just gonna put both of those back, play a land, and we just basically don't care about anything my opponent can draw. Just the Mind Sculptor doing mind sculpting things. Minds are being sculpted. Can be sure of that. You show up roller. Let's shuffle. And I'm just going to, I guess, draw 2. Sure. Terminate here. Draw 3. Boom. Play that. And it's done. Whatever they play, we counter. We have a Fury to close things off. Opponent down to 5. And we'll see concessions are enough. Sure. Guess I'm gonna kill you with Hall of the Storm Giants instead of this other way of killing you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. Awesome. 2-0. Okay, so on the draw, very good interactive spells, but shaky mana. I think we're keeping because we're on the draw. Maybe on the play I would ship this back. Okay, so now we need to find the black source. All right. So we're probably gonna lose now. I guess maybe I shouldn't have kept this. So we take monkey hit, exile counterspell. Good. So that's not a land. I honestly want to concede the game here. I think that there's pretty good value in conceding the game right here just so I can hide information. I think I'm going to. Obviously, you don't love to do that, right? Like I kept a hand that was punished specifically by this sort of start. So let's bring in Thought Seizes, Disputes, and Spell Pierces. I think I even like Fluster, honestly. Pushes and Bolts are fine. I think Sugu and Command are not very good. Don't think Dress Down does anything. Fury is medium. And I do like Monkey, particularly on the play. So here the idea is that we are going to be playing a better, longer game. Nile Spellbomb is kind of weird in this matchup. We got the Furies. So my conditions are like 4 monkeys and like 2 chases. I don't know if I'm like too sold on this plan. Bring in some Sugus, so we have like a way to actually win the game. And let's cut what? 1 counter spell, 2 counter spells. All right, let's see what we find here. Sure, let's keep this hand. Looks great. So you can go turn 1 lounge, turn 2 we can like push something, or we can dreadbore something if we want to. Alternative, we can hold up for Sugu. Like if my opponent plays a DRC, I think I'm gonna chill on the push. But if they play a monkey, I'm gonna push it. Because I'd rather kill a DRC with the Sugu. Okay, so I'm just gonna dreadbore it. Dreadbore there, black and red. And I'm dreadboring there obviously because it's less mana efficient. Well, if this resolves, I'm gonna feel very, very confident that we're extremely far ahead. But they could have spell pierce, and it looks like they do. But it's fine. Like if they pierce this, like it's not that big of a deal. I think they would need to find exactly spell pierce. Like they probably have stuff like, they probably have random things like dispute and whatnot, right? And those wouldn't do anything. So it needed to be specifically spell pierce. So I think it's fine to just gem Sugu there. And you see that the worst case scenario is not that bad, right? So I'm gonna do this again. Land. Say go. So now they can play Murktide here, but I just dreadbore it. So it's not really that big of an issue. Also they're missing land drops. And we can just push this next turn. Yeah, I think we counter that. There's an argument for holding the counter spell for... There's an argument for holding the counter spell for expressive iteration, but I think that's fine. I would really like to find like another black source though. Would truly love to find another black source. Fetch another basic swamp, another push. Okay, so let's push Shredder. Yeah, we're super stuck on black mana here. Super stuck on black mana. And if they're playing Blood Moon, we'd probably just lose. But, huh. So let's swing with the Vessel. Let's Vessel it up. And we connect. So now this is a 4-4, which is going to make things harder for them. I think I want a Thoughtseize here. They probably don't have a Murktide because they binned one of them. But they may have something like... Oh, wow. Yeah, it's just all blanks. So I'll just take the Subtlety, which is the only card that does anything at all. And this is what I was saying, like it needed to be specifically spell pierce, because even like Fluster doesn't deal with this. Opponent just backs it in. Alright, game 3. Game number 3. Sugu looked pretty good there, but it was mostly because my opponent's hand lined up against it. We have some pretty good removal though. So maybe I should be raising my curve a little bit. I can cut the monkeys, bring in Sugu and the 3 Furies. I think that's fine on the draw. Nile Spellbomb again. Interesting, but I don't think that's what I want to be doing. Opponent with the 61 card special, you love to see it. I think we keep this one. Do think we keep this one. Bolt, don't mess around. DRC. Huh. So now the question is, do we want to hold Counterspell? Huh. Interesting that they would look at the top of my deck as opposed to... I think we passed the turn. That's a fine draw actually. Like it's not like great or anything, but like it's okay. And the reason it's fine, it's because now we get to hold up Charm on turn 3. So we're gonna take 1 here, and then we're gonna push on end step. Watery Grave, cast push. My opponent may protect the DRC, maybe they don't. They don't. Untap, play that, say go. So now we are starting to like trade the resources in a way that favors me slightly. Also, this Sotawara, it's low-key a very good draw. So I'm going to attempt to draw 2 here. My opponent's very likely going to counter this, but that's fine. Again, we're trading without my opponent gaining an advantage, and I'm basically trading my more expensive spells that are more powerful for sure, but like that are more expensive at a time where it's convenient for me. Like it's convenient for me to trade at that time. Nope. Actually, let's counterspell. Now we just dispute. I guess we don't dispute. That's a reason to do the other way around, I guess. That is most definitely a reason to do the other way around. Oh, you got my terminate. Opponent down to 1 card. That sucks. That super sucks. That super sucks. That sucks so much. Like I'm not gonna just bounce this thing here. Oh, dude. Oh no, this is great. Like if they cast this, I could just bounce it. Yes, please cast it. Oh. Opponent saw through it. Opponent saw through it. All right. Okay, so this is starting to be really bad. We're starting to fall a little bit too far behind at this point. Like this monkey just connected 3 times already. Like my opponent has infinite mana. This mystical dispute is dead. Like I was not expecting my opponent to play dashed monkey there. Like I was expecting that they were gonna play a Murktide. This monkey destroyed me. So I could hardcast Fury, but it's not really doing anything for me. Yeah, my opponent doesn't have any reason to change their play pattern here. Again, I could like discard a card to prevent my opponent from hitting me one more time. Yeah, well, all of the cards that I wish I were drawing, those are the ones that are getting flipped. Wow, this monkey got me good. I was feeling very confident in this match until that monkey came into the picture. That's a good draw. This is how we can potentially get back in it. Dispute. 1, 2, 3. I mean, I have to. Like, they just have no real options here. So we did get a 2-for-1, nevertheless. We did get a 2-for-1 anyways. Just gonna play out the Otawara. Not what I would like to be doing, but... So now we're there to Lightning Bolt. Unlikely that my opponent still has Lightning Bolt in their deck. This Mystical Dispute is looking embarrassing because of this stupid monkey. I mean, at least we can dispute that thing. Actually, we let that resolve. Like, this was actually good for me, I think. Because now I'd forced my opponent to kind of tap low. And now I can potentially punish them with my own Fury. With Dispute backup. So we know one of their cards in hand is the... We know one of their cards in hand is the monkey. And holy shit. Brutal. So the monkey keeps chugging. Monkey keeps chugging. This monkey just soloed me. It's kind of insane. It dealt 12 damage and net my opponent 6 mana. Alright. Yeah. Brutal. Alright, see you next round. Okay, on the draw once again. 1 lander, but I'm gonna keep it because if we do find a land, like this hand just doesn't need anything. Like the only thing that it needs is a land. So, like the upside here is so astronomically high. So let's find Scalding Tarn here and play my monkey and take it from there. Really want to dodge, like if my opponent's playing like a Ren and 6 deck or something like that, we probably just concede the game, but you can't win them all. And this is sort of what you're signing up for whenever you're playing a control deck, right? Like whenever you're playing a control deck, you're gonna have to look at hands like this and you have to say, okay, like is it worth it for me to like risk potentially just getting ridiculously blown out? And the upside is definitely there here. Yeah, Bolt, no Heat. That's a very interesting turn 1 into turn 2 from my opponent. I have no idea what they're up to. Land, please. Oof. Love to see it. So now we're holding up Counterspell, which is nice. So it's not creativity, it's not... Wait, what? What is this? Shadow Prophecy? Interesting. So they could have Omnath, but I think that's fine. Like, Shadow Prophecy is kind of messed up here. Oh, it may be Spike's deck. So I guess that they can have the cat. But yeah, but Shadow Prophecy there is a huge, huge deal, so yeah. Okay, this card is really, really powerful. I do get to untap and resolve. We do get to resolve Iteration, which is nice. Yeah, Traverse, Fury, Omnath. It is Spike's deck. So I have to be prepared to face Emrakul. Yeah, I need to hit my land drops. Like, I can't not do this. So I guess that's what I'm gonna exile. I guess Monkey is what I'm gonna exile. We did hit a land drop though, which is kind of what we needed. Not the best land drop to hit there, but this looks like Omnath, which we're gonna have to Sugu. So my best draw is a fetch land. So they're making a 1,000,000 mana. Well, they can't Emrakul. Dress down. Interesting, okay. Just to cycle. That's funny. Alright. Fury is actually a good draw because it allows me to kill this. Yeah, so hand, bottom, exile, play that, shock, Fury, pitch in this. So that kills the Omnath, but we have to be worried about what's his name? We have to be worried about the cat. So they have Leyline Binding, that we know. That's 5. Maybe I should, honestly, maybe I should have held on to Sugu. Nah, there's no way. If this is the cat, I think I'm just gonna dress down. Shadow Prophecy I will counterspell though. Them finding 3 Shadow Prophecies is obviously quite bad for us. Also, my opponent should not be fetch land. They should not be fetch. Okay, they're gonna use their mana. Okay. Is this the 4th Shadow Prophecy? Brutal. It's kind of devastating. So now if they have Ren, oh, gross. So I guess we lose now. Dude, they found 4 Shadow Prophecy in the top half of their deck. Ay. Jace. Brainstorm. We need some action here. Send both of those. Imagine they have Leyline Binding, which is why I brainstormed. I mean, we kind of knew about that though. We can Otawara this though, so that's not nothing, I guess. Cycle dress down here, but I mean the problem here is that my opponent's eventually gonna find an Emrakul, and what they do, I'm super screwed. That sucks. So I can Fury. Dies to Unholy Heat though. So I really want to make sure that I deal the damage. I think I'm gonna cast Monkey and say go. The good thing here is that Otawara costs 3. So pretty good value. We are gonna lose to the Emrakul though. Sure. I wonder if they have another dress down. But that clears the Ren, which is nice. Hopefully they cut the Emrakuls from their deck and then we'll have a shot. Okay, bubble trigger. Land. 1, 2, 3, 5. Here's this. You have the dress down. No. Okay, good. Because they could have cast Emrakul already, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, they could have cast Emrakul already. So they don't have it yet. They can draw it any time, but at least for now they don't have it. 3 mana, 4 mana, 5 mana. Fury? Sure. So I can get 1 Brainstorm in if I really want to. Okay, there's the Emrakul and we can't beat that. So Thoughtseize seems good. Dreadbore seems okay. Push seems bad. Spellbomb seems good. Prismari Command. Out. Don't think I want Magus. Dress down, out, and it's got some fatal pushes. This matchup does not seem great though. The fact that they go way over the top. They're kind of doing the same thing that we're doing, except their card advantage is instant speed as opposed to sorcery. And, you know, they have 13/13 flyer Mindslavers. Maybe I should, I think I'm going to bring in these disputes. And the reason to bring in disputes as opposed to any of the other options is that Omnath is a messed up magic card. Probably not keeping this one. I guess I am keeping this one. Same story once again. The exact same story. If we connect, we have a shot, but I mean, opponent does not have that many answers to Monkey on turn 1. I think they're playing some prismatic endings and bolts and heats, sorry. But that's really about it. Oh, really? 2 for 1 themselves? Wait, pitch in heat? Damn, they must really value their mana. Land, off the top, land. Should have been more specific, I guess. Can we please dodge Ren and 6? I mean, I guess if they had Ren, they would have just not pitched a Fury for no reason. Yeah, it makes sense for them to not have a Ren there. And again, because they didn't have a Ren last turn, I think I'm going to take this turn off to try to hit my land drop. Perfect, so I think I want Sugu to hand, that to the bottom, that to exile. There's an argument for getting another Spellbomb, but I think that the Sugu is better. Leyline Binding. Interesting. Well, I mean, I'm gonna crack it, right? I'm not gonna crack it. Really? Just nothing? Okay. Lay a monkey. Could have dashed there, but I think that just having the monkey there accruing value is more valuable. And Holy Heat is fine. Huh. Okay. So let's fetch for a Water Break here. And I'm gonna resolve Jace this turn. This is the Jace Brainstorm turn. Another binding. Pretty brutal, but could have been worse. Okay, so those are my top cards. Not super great. The other way around. Play land. Spellbomb go. So if we dodge this turn, then we may be in pretty good shape. What? What? Is that for monkey? Pirate. I like it. I like naming pirate. I like naming pirate instead of monkey. Pass. So I'm gonna cycle here because I'm playing to Sugu next turn. So I kind of want to cycle. It's a lot of Sugus. That is a heck of a lot of Sugus. So we can hold up counterspell here, which is very nice. Opponent passes the turn again. Because they kept a little bit of a clunky hand over there. They're missing blue mana, so maybe their hand is like Omnath or a bunch of 4-drops. That definitely looks like Omnath. Swing for 2. Got me. It's doing nothing. Okay. Interesting. I think I want to play another Sugu here. And the reason to do this is the first one is likely to trade with this engineer unless I draw something that kills the engineer. And this just keeps delaying my opponent's Delirium in a nice way. Soul of Windgrace. So they have Veil of Summer. There's nothing I can do about it. So I guess it's just Leyline Binding. Exile Graveyards. Land. I think I just Sugu again. Eventually one is gonna stick, right? But I really have to, I just really have to clock them. They are the ones that have the inevitability, so we cash in the dispute here. Seems like a good spot to do so. Opponent can't really attack, so if I draw a lightning bolt, or I guess a push, wait, what? That's just not a good attack. Like, I'm winning the race very easily. This is a good spot though. I think I'm gonna Thoughtseize. Anyway. Take the Actually, I think I'm gonna take the Binding, yeah. They're pretty far away from the other two cards. Ren. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. If they attack, I just trade. So play land here. I think it's important to kill the Ren there because it actually takes a clock. Takes a turn off the clock. They have 3 card types, but they're not gonna get to Emrakul in time. Like, Sugu clocks really quickly. Sugu really clocks very quickly. That I did not see coming. That I did not think about. So that got me pretty good. So now I'm forced to counter there because I really want to keep the clock on. And now we can get blown out if my opponent finds Omnath or something. Okay, never mind. So swing for 3. Okay, so if they find Omnath, I think I have to cast this. Because if they find Omnath, like they can just find another Unholy Heat, and that would be just absolutely devastating. So I think that putting a lethal threat in play is important. Mizra's Bauble. You love to see it. 6 cards. Actually not super far away from Emrakul. That's 11. Pretty close. The real MVPs this match were the Sugus, just like exiling every single turn. That was very good. So they drew Heat. So if it was correct to play... And now we even beat Omnath, I think. Because they just throw Omnath in front of the Fury. But we still kill them with the Sugu. So I think we got it now. Alright, cool. Game 3. Maybe I should not have Monkey. Plague Engineer is just so interesting. I'm bringing Piers because my opponent's going to be on the play and they can Ren. I'm just going to bring in 1 Fatal Push. Just 1 Fatal Push. This hand seems good. Let's keep it. Keep it, I say. And fighting over the graveyard matters a lot, apparently. The only thing that we don't want to see is turn 1 Monkey. Okay. I wonder if they're going to crack right now, and then, you know, I just get to see what they drew with the Thoughtseize. Opponent plays around Thoughtseize. Good sequencing. So they know about the Spell Bomb. I'm still going to Thoughtseize because of Ren. So Warrior Grave. Thoughtseize you. Let's see what they're cooking with. So that doesn't matter. So I guess I'm gonna take the Plague Engineer. Why is Plague Engineer in their deck? Just don't get it. Makes no sense to me. So I guess that they have the thingy. So I can play out the Spell Bomb this turn because if my opponent ley lines, I can still... Red, green, what? Yeah, that's not it, Chief. That's not it. That's not the play. That is not the play. Very much not the play. They knew about the Spell Bomb too. The question is, am I cycling here? And I think the answer is no. Shadow Prophecy. Okay. That's good. So I guess now I am indeed cycling. Because they have everything enabled now. So let's do that. Draw a land, which is not good. But it could be worse. Play Spell Bomb, say go. So now we can line up the Dispute versus the Omnath, which is nice. We got rid of Boseiji too, which is not nothing. The question is, do we want to cycle Spell Bomb here? And I think the answer is no. I think the answer is no. Even, well, I guess that we can... Huh, it's interesting. Because it allows me to look 1 card deeper, which is definitely important. Soul of Windgrace. Well, that's really good. That is insanely good. Because they can just steal my land now. And the way this card works, like it doesn't target. Wow. Well, I mean, there's nothing I can do about this card now. That is insane. That is absolutely insane. Wow. Damn, that's so brutal. Yeah. There's... Oh my god. That's it. That's the game. I can't believe how insane this card is right here. So I need to find removal for it. Like, if they untap with it, I just have no shot. Straight up, no shot. Alright. I can't believe how insane that was. That is... wow. That's absolutely devastating. That is absolutely devastating. Oh, I was ready. I was so ready. I was ready with like the dispute for the Omnath, and I had lined everything perfectly, but like that threw a wrench in my plan that is just impossible to come back from. My opponent's playing around this bit very well here. Counterspell is kind of a brutal draw there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because like I really have to do this here. So yeah, Counterspell is kind of a brutal draw because like I just can't time walk myself there, right? I just have to play my stuff. If they have Leyline, that's fine. Another Prophecies. Yeah, this deck is pretty much unbeatable for us. This deck is pretty much unbeatable. It's kind of insane. Well, at least we get to... oh, that's different art. And this is why you should try to always have the same arts, or at least be careful with... or at least be careful with what you do. Like, with that you cast the correct versions of the cards. Being able to cash in the Omnath there is huge. We're gonna have... we have Counterspell for the next Omnath, which is good. They also miss their land drop, which is important. Interesting. So let's go... I think I need to figure out... I need to Sugu next turn. Or do I Sugu here? So if I Sugu here, next turn things get exiled, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... it's 11. So I think I need to hold up Counterspell to counter the Omnath. They didn't have the land though, so Omnath is not like as back-breaking, I guess. So maybe this was wrong. Maybe I should have played the Sugu there, and then that allows me to do the Fury thing. And I can Fury the Omnath. Opponent gets to draw a card, but ugh. Well, good thing I didn't do that then. Okay. Kind of want to draw another Night Spellbomb. That's probably my best draw. I need to keep their Delirium in check. Okay, so they did find the land. The question, I think we just pass. And I'm going to Castle Ventress. Okay, so I'm probably dead now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. So we're gonna have 9 mana next turn. Emrakul is just so brutal. They are at 7 though. They are at 7. So Hall is lethal with a single swing. That's a big deal. That's a big deal. That sucks. So we're gonna Castle Ventress here. Yeah, bottom both of those. So I'm gonna need to draw exactly... what's his name here? Dreadbore. Like, not this turn, but the following turn. I need to draw exactly Dreadbore. Okay, at least they can't really deal that much damage, right? Like they can throw a Hall into the bin, which they probably should actually. They probably should do that. So they get to activate Hall, attack it into the Emrakul. Interesting. So here I can go for broke, actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. Never mind. I'm 1 mana short. So yeah, I guess because they're just gonna fetch Fail to Find. Oh wow. So I can actually win now. If I draw specifically Dreadbore, I win the game. They really did not need to do that. So I can Castle Ventress to take 2 more looks at a Dreadbore, but if I do that and my opponent has another Emrakul, then I get super punished. So I think that the right play is to try to luck suck specifically one of my 2 dread boars and nothing else. Luck suck one of those specifically, and then swing in for lethal with Hole. So I think that that is the better play. Dreadboar. Jace Demile Sculptor. Okay. I mean, I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna brainstorm here. So I'm gonna brainstorm, looking for Dreadboar specifically, and now we are locked out. Because I can draw 2, but I know that the 2 cards that I'm drawing are bad. So if we had found a fetch land, we could have fetched and looked for Dreadboar, but now we're just dead to the Eldrazi. Alright, yeah, this matchup seems just straight up unwinnable for basically every control deck. I don't think any control deck has a chance versus this deck. I think this deck is very cool. This is a very interesting Aspiring Spike brew, and I think it's very, very nice. See you for the last round. Okay, so here's the last round. Removal, Dress Down, and Jace Demile Sculptor. What else could anybody ask for? Opponent moves to 6. Let's see what they're up to. Bubble on 1. Bubble target me. Shadow maybe? Like, I mean, some deck with discard spells. Okay, so opponent knows about this card, whatever this is. Fatal Push. Okay, so they know about that push. Maybe that matters for them. Maybe that doesn't. Bubble into Overgrown Tomb. Into Stomping Ground. Yeah, that's dead. And I'm gonna kill this right now. Actually, am I? So if I get Sanders Lounge... Oh, I get to dress down this thing. Yeah, that's much better. That is much, much better. So I'm gonna dress down on my end step. Because they could have Stubborn Denial, right? So if I dress down on my end step, I kill this, and then I kill any other... Like, I basically time walk their Territorial Cabos for the turn. Which seems pretty good. Dress Down really is a hell of a card. Tarmogoyf. Just a lowly 0-1. Yeah, Goyf seems right there. So let's push there. And I think I'm just going to dash a Monkey. It gives me more mana for next turn. I usually think that people dash Ragavan a little bit too much, but in this case I think it's correct. While my opponent stepped out, in a deck that very likely has sorcery speed removal like Tribal Flames, Stubborn Denial, yep. That is what I play the card on my turn, the Dress Down on my turn. They are missing land drops though. Okay, now they're fine then. So they're... If they have Temple... No, they need blue and white. I don't know what they could have. Maybe they have Headquarters. Seems unlikely. So I'm gonna dash Monkey and not really care about what happens to it. Bold push. Don't care. I am gonna play the Stabbed and pass the turn. There's an argument for playing the fetch land, but I wanna, like, next turn Jace Brainstorm. Shuffle these lands away. There is an argument, however, for playing out... either for Shocking. There's an argument for Shocking, and there's also an argument for holding on to the Swamp. Consider. Wow. Weird. Seems really bad. It does make Goyf better, though. It certainly does make Goyf significantly better. DRC. Sure. That doesn't enable Stubby, though. That's a pretty good draw. So we're going to do this instead of Jace this turn. This is absolutely fantastic. Play my land. Push your thing. And now we're super well set up. Now we are extremely well set up for a Jace Brainstorm next turn. We could even protect the Jace if we care about it. Another Kabu. Interesting tapping for sure. I think that's a fine use of Counterspell. Like, the main reason for doing that is, like, we play around Stubby D very nicely, and it just means that the Jace comes down on a free board. Opponent can ley line now. I don't think I care about that. I just really want to shuffle these bad cards away. And pass the turn. But this is looking pretty good here. Now we have Prismari Command in case they have the Draco. Yeah, this is why. I mean, you're trying to be aggressive, but you also have like this super clunky self time walk. Wow, it really surprises me that they wouldn't crack immediately just so they can look for an answer to the Jace to kill it on my upkeep. Because like they just gave me another Jace activation, right? They just gave me a free Jace activation. Maybe I should have played the Scryland. The cattle resolves. Kabu. That also resolves. So now they have Stubby D. Just fine. Let's get an island. Our mana is good enough. And I'm just going to draw 2 and create a treasure. No. Draw 2 cards, create a treasure. Red, blue, blue. Because if we find Su, we can just Sugu the Nakatl. Second dress down is also pretty good. Let's terminate there. They could have Stubby D. They probably do. They haven't really had a chance to use the Stubby D effectively. Yeah, I think we untap actually. Yeah. Oh Jace. Oh Jace. Just going around sculpting minds. Better than all. Better than all. That's honestly like the main reason why I like this deck. Like it's not a good deck, but I get to play Jace to my Sculptor, so terrible deck, but cast Jace, so it's a banger. Goifall. Goifall. Rainstorm. Rainstorm. I think I'm just gonna swing 7. So if we swing 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Can I dash monkey? I think I can. I think I can just do everything. So, hole, dash monkey, swing all. This is also like the most unnecessary play. Like I don't need to be doing this. Like the better play would have been probably to just like Jace minus even. But like this is just so hilarious to me that I'm just gonna go for this play instead, even though it's very likely not the best play. DRC, don't mind if I do. We even get 2 Bolt Goif for good measure. Yep, keep that on top. Oh, that was too much fun. That was too much fun. I'm happy I did that. Maybe it was the right play. I don't know. Who cares? Maybe it was the right play. Does it really matter? Does it really matter what the right play is when you're having this much fun? It's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's go. I really like this card actually. I really like it. Yeah, so this is like similar to the very first deck that we played against, except I think this version of the deck is a little bit worse. Because I think Tarmogoyf is not very good in this style of deck. Whenever I've seen the card in the archetype, it has felt very lackluster. This looks good though. Fluster, Pierce. Yeah, there's an argument potentially for Spell Pierce. I don't think I want to be doing that. I think I'd rather be playing a less mana efficient game, but a higher power level game. Maybe that's wrong, and maybe on the draw I should be trying to play a more efficient game to keep up. But I think I just want to draw like a bunch of fatal pushes, call it a day. It's not great. This hand is not amazing. I'm gonna keep it, but it's not very good. These bubbles have looked so bad for my opponent. They have not looked impressive. That's a great draw though. It's a really good draw. Really good draw. Interesting. Just passing the turn back. I can play this game. Pretty sure that I can play this game. Yeah. That card is... I don't think that's it. I don't think that's the card. Thoughtseize is very good here. Thoughtseize is actually very good. Yeah, taking the push there is very strong. Because now that clears the way for like a Goif or like one of their dudes. Kabu, yeah. Yeah, interesting that they saw the dress down and that didn't stop them from keeping the Kabu around. We are gonna get to draw some cards here. I think I want to draw 2 right now. Just guarantee that it resolves. All right. All right. So we'd love to see a counter spell, I think. Taking 5 is obviously it's pretty good, but when this card gets going, it's very, very strong. When this card gets going, it's very impressive. Ugh. Well, let's play it here. And we're gonna upkeep, dress down. I think my opponent is gonna have the counter spell, but I don't think there's too much else I can do. Stammer them now. At least I tap them out of blue for the turn, so whatever I play next turn, it's going to resolve. We're gonna take 5 more though. Ugh. Okay. Wow. They should have not done that. Should have most definitely not done that. Oh wow. Playing face first in the dress down. I mean we don't have it, but draw it. Second dress down. Wow. That is a significant amount of lands. That is very, very much a significant amount of lands. I don't think I care about Magus. I do want monkeys on the play, however, over Counterspell and Mari Command. Maybe one Archmage's Charm. Actually, one Sugu. Let's do one Sugu. Yeah, let's do that. Yep, keep this. Pretty good hand. Pretty good hand. Maybe we can get that 3 and 2. Maybe we can get the 3 and 2. Some very good removal. Nice curve. Very good interaction. Only thing that we're missing is some card advantage. So I guess that's what we're looking for. If we do find that card advantage though, we're gonna be cooking. We're gonna be cooking. Ugh. Called it too early. Called it too early. Called it too early. Consider discarding the Overgrown. They still seem so awkward to me. Like, those considers are just so awkward to me. Let's let that resolve. If they Thoughtseize, I'm gonna counter the Thoughtseize. And if they don't, I'm gonna terminate this. And holy heat. They have both Heat and Leyline still on the deck. Very weird. Okay, just passing the turn. Still no white mana. Still no white mana. I am gonna do this here, so if they have stuff, maybe they'll use it. Looks like they didn't. Land. Excellent. Okay, so what are we looking for here? Ways to end the game or card advantage? Nope. Good thing that we didn't use the counterspell on the DRC, because those are the spells I want to be using counterspell on. The 2-for-1s. How is my opponent up on cards though? Like, did I mulligan? Draco. Alright, so there's the end game. There's the end game. Just got to find some lands. Easy as that. Easy as that. Would like to draw some iterations. That would be very nice. That's about to get pushed. So fetch, Watergrave, Fatal Push, your Kabu. There we go. Untap. And I know that they can have Stubborn now, but like this is just too important. Interesting. So let's protect. Huh. I play my land for turn already, so let's protect the counterspell and the charm. Let's actually protect counterspell and fury. I mean, we're not protecting counterspell, we're just protecting the fury. I think fury is going to be pretty important because it basically answers every single one of their threats. Actually, I should have hidden the fatal push. Because push, yeah, I should have hidden fatal push and counterspell. Because push actually is the only answer to another Kabu that I have access to right now. So yeah, Leyline Binding for my opponent is pretty good, but like we did get a 2-for-1 out of the chase, so that's fine. Don't care super too much about it. Thoughtseize, yeah. So now if they have another Kabu, we may be in trouble. Okay, so they did take the 2-for-1, which is fine. Let's dash a monkey. See what we get. Monkey connecting there is very good for us. Love that. Love that. So they don't have a threat. They're drawing a Kabu. Nice. They don't have a threat, and we answer their threat with our push. But I'm not going to push on end. Oh, never mind. I am going to push on end because I'm drawing the counter spell. So yeah, we're good. We're good. So at this point, this gets stopped anyway. So now they would need double Stubborn Denial. They obviously don't have. It's a good one. That's a good one to have access to. Here's a monkey. And it connected last turn, right? So I'm assuming that it's going to connect here. Decay. Wow. That's a card I've not seen in a minute. I mean, it's fine. I don't think I care, but... So at this point, I feel pretty much ahead. I wonder if they have Ren and 6. That's maybe what can get my opponent out of this. But yeah, we're definitely letting that resolve. That gives me something to use this Fury on. I wish I had drawn a land there, but it's fine. So here we get another 2-for-1. This is probably the nail in the coffin. I don't think there's anything that I'm scared of. Draco is probably their best card. No, Iteration. Iteration is their best card. Yeah, of course. Well, here's 6 damage. 6, yeah? You're gonna chump block? They are gonna chump block. Okay. Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay, that's it. So we get the 3 and 2. I was almost worried there for a second, but it's kind of funny. Like, Leyline Binding felt kind of good against me, but I beat it every time. Like, the only time that I did not beat the Leyline Binding is when, you know, when it was accompanied by Emrakul. So it wasn't really the Leyline Binding what beat me. It was the 13 mana creature, you know. All right, so back here for the wrap up. The deck was a lot of fun. I really enjoy playing this deck. I think it's a lot of fun. I don't think it's super good though, and the reason for that is, like, obviously if you have a metagame where the Hitetsugu is great, like stuff with like hammer, right? If you have a metagame that's filled with hammer, stuff like that, then the deck can be very strong. Like we saw how we completely obliterated hammer and it wasn't even remotely close, right? Like, so if you're expecting that kind of matchup, this deck is a good place to be. The problem is that there are other iteration decks in the format and they are more efficient than us. And I feel like I fell a little bit short. What am I trying to say here? So the other decks in the format that are doing something mid-rangey like this are going over the top of what we're doing. And that's why I have 3 Mystical Disputes in the Cyber, is because the Omnath decks are pretty problematic. The problem now is, you know, we were playing against the Omnath deck, and then it was Soul of Windgrace that showed up off left field, and I'm just like, there's literally nothing I can do about that. That threw a wrench in my plan and it completely destroyed me. So this is a lot more of a old school control deck, which seems weird to say when we have so many tap out threats like Sugu, Jace, Monkey, but this deck is trying to fight the stack battle a lot more often. Like, we have a bunch of instants and whatnot, and that felt like a little bit of a liability, because I felt like we didn't have something like Omnath to like come down and like really propel us ahead. So I feel like if you're doing something like this, you're kind of doing yourself a disservice in a way, because you could be playing an Omnath deck and the Omnath deck is doing this thing a little bit better. And by that I mean the new versions of the Omnath deck, which are like trying to play counterspell and whatnot. I do think, however, that if you were to play versus something like Creativity, you would be in better shape playing this deck than the Omnath deck. The Omnath deck does have access to Solitude, but I think that you'd rather be on the side of Thoughtseizes, Counterspells, Archmage's Charms, and whatnot. So I think I'd rather play this if I were facing Creativity. But if you're, you know, I guess it's more of a meta thing, and it's very bad when the control deck actually doesn't go as over the top as the mid-range decks go, right? Historically, you wanted to be playing control decks versus mid-range decks, and that's not really the case anymore. Like, nowadays, the mid-range threats are so messed up that your control deck needs to be drawing exactly the necessary specific cards that stop or at least slow down your opponent in the correct order. Because if you don't and they just play a thread that slips through the crack, that single thread is able to basically get multiple cards worth of value from you, and you just cannot afford for that to happen anymore. Like in the past, if your opponent sneaked a time ago, if you just you received a couple of hits and then eventually you were able to like go over the top of it. Nowadays, the mid-range threats are, Omnath and Soul of Windgrace and, on the top end, Emrakul. So those you're not going to be able to go over the top as easily. Also, even like stuff like Murktide can be problematic because they are just more efficient than we are. So it's possible that I misplayed in the Murktide matchup, and I should be keeping all of these cards, and I should just straight up be cutting all of my 3-drops and be adding like Thoughtseize, Disputes, Flusterstorms, and everything like this. So basically bring my curve significantly down. Just like bring the Nile Spellbombs and like cut all of the clunky 3-drops, leaving the top end because, it's the top end, right? But just make my deck a little bit more lean. Honestly, like obviously that's very much an issue of inexperience with the deck because I played so little, but the deck seems fun. Like we did 3-2, so like obviously the deck can do some winning, right? It's just not a bad deck. It just feels like it's worse than other options. But yeah, I wish I had played against like blue-white control or something like that. Like I think those are the kind of matchups that are super, super interesting. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and leave me a comment down below telling me what you did or maybe what you did not enjoy. But yeah, I like to pay attention to the comments and I like to answer them, and just I want to see what people are digging, so I can try to make more of that content. If you're interested in supporting the stream or like the YouTube channel, I guess, you can do so by either making a donation. With any donation of $30 or more, I will play any deck list of your choosing on a video, give you a deck tech and like maybe changes that I would make afterwards as well. You can also support my content through Patreon, and finally you can also book coaching sessions through MetaFi. So all the information is in the description of the video down below. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video, folks. Take care. Bye bye.